Welcome to the Bob and Cancer Show. Hi, I'm Bob Kevoian, and we're back after a long pause and I guess 30 days of not having to worry about anything.
And we've worried a little.
Well, we've worried, but
don't lie now, Bob.
Well, I know, but it wasn't. There wasn't test after test after test, radiation, that and everything. And that was all. It's all done.
Treatment is over.
And just had some tests and stuff I had to do, but it's been a nice break. But we're back at it. This one episode will be the last one before surgery.
Well, did you want to talk about your new partner, or is that old news now?
Oh, the Cancer Show? No, I'll kill him later. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, we don't need to talk about him.
Okay.
But yeah, here we are, and it's been kind of an interesting 30 days.
It has been short and long.
I guess I should introduce my partners. To my left, your right.
If you're playing at home.
If you're at home. My lovely bride, Becky.
Hello.
And to my right and your left, I'm my best buddy, Whit Grayson.
Hey, Bob.
Hello,
Hello,
Whit.
everyone.
Good to have you all back
Thank you.
together.
Yeah, this feels weird after such a long break.
Yeah, we've done all of these on our kitchen table. We're not in a studio. We're just sitting here at the house and turn on some mics and.
Hey, I remembered to turn off the ice machine.
Oh, good. I was wondering, it is kind of silent. All
On
right.
a few of the episodes, you could hear odd sounds in the background.
Before we get started with anything about what happened in the last 30 days, I want to thank everyone who downloaded our podcast. Mm-hmm. The first 6 episodes we released all at once, and I'm dumbfounded at how amazing
the response.
The response has been so wonderful.
Almost 30,000
Really?
downloads.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy.
Hundreds a day, every day since we launched it, which was, I don't remember what date that was. I guess about three or 4 weeks ago. I don't know.
Yeah, and about 1,500 emails from people who are sending their best wishes, and talking about their cancer battles, and it's been very inspiring.
People who went to the effort, this is what blows me away, went to the effort of going to the bobandcancershow.com, clicking on contact or whatever the button is, and then putting in their name, putting in their email, writing their comment. And that's an effort. That's not just like hitting like on a Facebook page or a quick comment. There's effort involved, and they went to the effort, and we have read every single one. And I want people to know that Bob is receiving them and is reading them.
I've read every one of them.
It's amazing.
Really
it's amazing.
It really has been a very inspirational and
very emotional.
And I thank each and every one of you for sending your best wishes.
Well, like you said, they go to the effort probably for one or of two, if not both reasons. You've touched them.
Oh, yeah.
They care about you. They want to know you're doing okay, and or they've had something similar.
Yes. Many, many comments from people.
I've gotten those comments from 3 or 4 people say, I went through this, my dad went through this, my mom went through this.
Yep.
And thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing how many lives cancer has touched.
It's just awful.
It is really something. The response is just overwhelming. Plus, thanks for filling things out. We have a mailer coming out later.
What? What does that mean?
A mailer?
Oh,
we
got junk
like
mail.
Jelly of the Month Club.
You know what? I do want to mention one of the very first comments we got. I believe it was a Twitter reply. I could look it up and mention his name, but maybe I shouldn't. But he said, the timing of this is amazing. I'm sitting in the chair at the hospital receiving chemotherapy right now, and I just got the notification about Bob's podcast launch, and I'm so grateful.
Yep.
Thank you for doing this. And it just was so touching. And it made me feel like, gosh, we're sitting here, just the 3 of us talking, and we don't think about the people that are out there going to be listening or having listened already. And it's touching them and making a difference in their lives. It's just unbelievable.
I spoke to a buddy who said that the most powerful message he got was that Bob caught his early.
Yes.
I did, yes.
And that
very lucky.
that message is universal.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've said, we've all heard that. Early detection, but boy, oh boy, it's true.
It sure is. I mean,
Go to your doctor.
we have, for the most part, a guarantee they're going to get rid of this, and it's all because we caught it early.
I also had comments that we're a little surprised that it was as funny as you've made it.
Right.
And I said, I've been Bob's writing partner for 35 years. There aren't many topics that are off limits when you've got a good joke, right?
Exactly.
I know. Speaking of good jokes, should I share?
Okay.
My brother-in-law Rex has
boy.
been on occasion sending me jokes, trying to keep me in good moods. And a lot of the jokes I've heard, some I have not. This is one I had not heard before, so I'll share it with you now.
All right.
Oh, boy.
What's the difference between a chickpea and a red kidney bean?
I don't know.
I've never had a red kidney bean on my face.
Now that is very funny.
I know. I read this like, that is brilliant. Thank you, Rex.
That is brilliant.
Thank you very, very much.
Wow.
So,
And it's hard to find, I told Bob, it's hard to find a joke that Bob hasn't already heard.
Well, you know how it is when people tell you a joke like that, your mind starts racing. I'm trying to color.
You've already
things
solved
out.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming
I
at all.
didn't either when I heard
Wow.
it. So, thank you, Rex.
Attaboy, Rex.
Okay.
So it's been 30
so we're,
days.
We're earning our explicit
Yes, yeah,
tag
right.
And
here,
also,
aren't
speaking
we?
of the podcast, when we were doing, I guess, all the essentials you need to put a podcast out, which is
Oh, boy.
photographs, guest bios.
Right.
And Becky and I were looking at each other going, you know what? It looks like we're actually writing our obituaries.
It does. Remember when
as
we were
we're-
collaborating on Whit Grayson and describing your career and your interests?
I guess
and
it does seem
Yeah,
somewhat
isn't it
posthumous.
weird?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
so-
feel like we could use any of those as our obituary.
Yeah.
Like if we all three get killed
I
in the
hope not
bus.
too soon.
No.
But it's very odd when you have to write something about yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
hard to
that's-
do. So
So go to the website and read them.
read
'cause
our
we did write 'em.
obituaries
Now you've
and
really got
enjoy
me-
the photos.
You got me worried.
I know.
Is there something missing? And just in case, God forbid, something happens to me, would you put insert decent bowler in mine?
Yeah, we can actually go back and fix
Okay.
that.
I mean, come on.
All right.
But
Yep.
are you?
I know.
No.
But it's been 30 days, I think, since we did our last broadcast, and we were at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway,
Right.
waiting for the race. We broadcast the day before the race took place.
We got to ring those bells.
Rang the bells,
Oh, yeah.
and I
Very-
actually had enough energy to go to the race and watch Joseph Newgarden win the race, and it was a very, very enjoyable weekend for me and the family.
And that Bob was able to accomplish that, I think, was just an enormous goal.
Did it wipe you out?
It
Yeah.
did.
Because
It
you
wiped him out.
guys went out
It-
there Wednesday to camp through Monday?
Yes, we were there for 5 days.
And even though it's luxury camping, it is, there's work.
It's hot, and,
you're
you know.
entertaining guests.
Oh, yeah, there was quite a
Hosting
few folks.
guests,
Yeah,
we
hosting.
should say.
But it was very enjoyable. I'm glad I did it.
Good.
I was totally exhausted.
I'll bet.
When we got home, I mean, I don't think I did a whole lot.
No. In fact, one day our grandson was here, and Bob was, I don't know
Like
what you were
asleep
doing.
on the couch.
He was laying on the couch, which you rarely see. I mean, Bob does not lay down on the couch. And he was zonked out, and Andrew came into the room, and he said, "Grandma, it looks like Grandpa has a dead battery."
Yes.
And I did. I mean, I was
did.
drained completely.
He had to recharge for quite a long time after the
I
track.
really did.
Because 5 days of camping takes it out of you if you don't have cancer.
Regardless.
So
Right. But we made it home, and
it was great.
That's when I didn't have to start. I didn't have to follow calories
Oh,
and
it's been great.
protein
I was going to ask
again.
that. I thought so that
Well,
regimen is.
we didn't know for sure if we
Okay.
were going to have to. I
Right.
was still counting everything at
But
that
Becky
point.
got a hold of the dietitian asking if we needed to continue, and she said not as much as we had.
Okay.
Reduce your
But
calories.
main thing is to keep my weight. Don't be losing weight like crazy. And I've
Gotcha.
lost a few pounds, but I'm still doing all right.
Okay.
It's pleasant
But-
when you don't have to force feed your stomach.
It
You
is.
know?
It is nice because I don't have to count every calorie and every gram of protein. But at the same time, I got into a routine, and I loved it. I loved monitoring everything, and I got to add and use my calculator and write everything down. And then one day, boom! I wasn't doing that anymore, and Bob was on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
what?
how's that going, Bob?
Well, you kind of fall back in your old ways.
Yes.
So I've
Yeah,
just,
kind of.
well, I wasn't drinking the 1,000 gallons of water I was required every day.
Correct.
Okay.
He
All
wasn't hydrating. Now, he doesn't, I don't
It
need
did
to.
not affect my ice cream intake, though.
Good.
Now, we're going to have an argument right here at the table.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
boy.
go for it.
How's your water intake today, Bob?
Today, it's Gatorade, no water so far.
Ooh, see, he's supposed to be having water.
I know.
And Gatorade.
I know.
So almost every day I say, have you had any water today? Maybe you should have a bottle of water. And I don't want to bug him. I don't want to ride him.
I'll have one before I go to
But
bed.
Oh, boy.
Not to be argumentative, but
Oh,
I
don't
know,
take
I
his
know,
side
I know
now.
if you have Coke or coffee, that's dehydrating.
Boo.
Right.
But I thought Gatorade was just as good.
It
as
is,
water.
and they say it that I do have to keep my electrolytes up.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
and
running.
Gatorade's fine.
Yeah.
But he didn't drink water consistently for several days. And
Several years,
Oh,
actually.
Well,
prior
in the
to-
past, we've talked
You
about
never
that.
drank
No,
water.
no.
He hates water, but he got used to it and he enjoyed it when his throat was burning from all the
It
treatments.
was the
and
most soothing drink I had.
He drank it a lot, and then as soon as they said, "Meow, "You don't have to,"
Well, a lot of
Well.
the pain and everything else disappeared, and all of a sudden I didn't need that
Yeah.
drink to soothe my throat.
so by not hydrating as effectively,
Okay.
we went down a new road, didn't we, Bob?
Which road's that?
I don't know this.
The road. Do I have to say it out loud?
The
pain
back
road.
pain road.
He went down the back pain road.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I had, during this 30 days of absence, we've had a lot of things happen. One,
Yes.
we celebrated Becky's birthday.
Yes.
We
and
do it differently than celebrating Bob's birthday.
That is correct. Mine is much more enjoyable,
Longtime listeners know we don't have to say.
No.
and many people still celebrate with me. But I had tests scheduled for my PET scan, and
Okay.
it was on the 21st of January. My wife's birthday is the 20th of January.
June.
Of June.
June,
I'm
yes,
sorry,
June. Yep,
June.
yep.
I'm lost.
Right.
In June, and I had to prep for this PET scan on Becky's birthday, so I couldn't have foods and
Like
Okay.
go out for a nice meal.
couldn't do
or,
anything
I
none
couldn't
of
make
that.
anything for him.
So
He had
we
to
went
not
out.
eat.
I planned it all, so we went out early and celebrated her birthday with family and friends.
I think it was on your birthday, Whit, that we actually went to dinner. Maybe the day
It was the
after.
day afterwards.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, we're enjoying ourselves, and then I all of a sudden start getting these very bad back pains.
We're all gathered at the table, all of our family, enjoying the night.
And the pains were they were very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. And it lasted for a couple of days. The pain moved from my lower back to my upper back, then to the stomach.
Well, that's concerning.
And it
Very.
had Becky on edge, wondering what's going on. She thought it was cancer spreading.
I just assumed because we were leading up to this PET scan that we were going to see light up,
New
areas.
spots.
I'm like, he has cancer on his spine. Okay, well, now we're going to cross a new bridge. Here we go. I was just prepared. I wasn't depressed or fearful, really, but it was nagging at me because Bob was so uncomfortable and so tired and struggling.
And so it wasn't like you'd hurt your back, like you picked up
but it
firewood.
got to a point where I actually had to call our family physician to check out what the heck was going on. So I went to my family doctor, and he did a couple of tests, and we determined that it was constipation.
Lo and behold,
Really?
Yes.
severe constipation.
And we learned about
Water.
we also learned about a particular chart.
Yes, we did.
While we
Whit's
were
gonna
doing
love
this,
it.
someone, I think it was a couple of days after I actually got moving again, someone said, "Well, have you checked it with the stool tool?"
Stool tool.
Have you heard of this? It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Never heard it in
Never
my life.
heard of it.
It's the Bristol stool chart.
It really is.
It's such a thing. If you go on Google and look it up, the Bristol stool chart, pardon me, and it has about, I think, 7 or 8 different categories.
Little milk duds, little,
So it's like when you used to go in to get a haircut. You saw different
It is exactly
pictures
right.
on the wall.
It's like,
It is.
yeah, I'll do the number 5. Yeah. Exactly like that.
Because they said when we finally went to the nurse at the cancer center, she was asking about this severe constipation and how Bob had been suffering and how are you doing now? And he said, well, just normal now. And she said, normal is different for everyone. And we all think normal, right? You just go, well, everything's normal. Well, then she pulls out this stool tool. We're like, what?
You should check the stool tool. It's like, okay, I didn't know this existed. But yeah, there's
It's a little chart.
a big chart of different.
Are they like animated and do they have
No,
the
they
smile?
don't. They don't
have the
smile.
smile of a
No,
man.
they
or
don't
something
smile
like
at
that.
you.
What's that
There's-
little guy on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, Mr. Bill. But then there's Mr.
yeah.
Hanky on.
That's who I was thinking of,
No,
Mr.
no,
Hanky.
nothing like that.
All right. Well,
Yeah, it was
That's-
like Mr. Hanky.
But I
though.
was surprised when she asked about the stool tool.
And I thought, oh boy, Tom Griswold would.
Oh.
I
my
mean,
God.
I
I'm
have
surprised
never
you-
heard that. Wouldn't you think we would have heard of that?
I know.
I
Of
think
all
we should
people.
frame a stool
I
tool
do
chart
too.
and give
put
it to
out-
Tom for Christmas.
Or put it in one of your
Put it in a
bathrooms.
bathroom over the urinal or something. Yeah.
Right.
No, I
That'd be
don't
very
think so.
funny. It
I
would be a
don't
good
think so.
memento of
Well,
cancer
I
treatment.
mean, digressing, as Bob and I always said, you don't go to another guy's house and do number 2.
No.
That is a
no.
breach of
That is a
friendship.
home field thing only.
Is
Yes.
that called an away game? Is that
Yes.
what you
Well,
used to
yeah,
say?
home
or something?
field only.
You don't do
away
that.
games are you never.
Nope.
No, it's.
What if you have to? Do you leave the party?
Well, if you
you
can,
don't-
yeah,
you
you know,
don't-
you could drive down to the gas station.
You don't. I mean, how many times do you go to a party
You
not,
don't.
not knowing
I
that
would
you're going to
never.
have an emergency
Yeah, mhm.
situation?
That's very true.
I would never. It kind
No.
of reminds me one time Lynn, my sister Lynn, needed help going in and out of the little potty room, you know, and when she was more able,
Yeah.
we had a party and Lynn had to go to the bathroom. So I walked her in, got her all set up and shut the door. Pretty soon she hollers for me that she's done. And I went in to get her and she said, "What are you going to do about that guy?" I said, "What guy?" And she goes, "That guy in the pink shirt." I said, "What?" She goes, "He walked right in on me, scared me to death. He had a pink shirt."
See
I'm
that
like-
guy with the pink shirt?
And I was like, I don't know who it was. Somebody walked in on Lynn because I didn't lock the door.
During a party.
During a
Yeah.
party, and the door was closed, but maybe he didn't knock or she was scared and didn't say anything. But it became
Maybe
kind
he
of,
thought it was a coat closet. Who knows?
and it became one of those kind of family legends where over time we would just be like,
So, like, there's-
"Hey Bob, what are you going to do about that guy in the pink shirt?"
Well, maybe it's like Bigfoot, the Mothman, the guy in the pink,
shirt.
He might not have
Exactly.
existed.
Oh, I know.
Oh, but bathroom
So
chat.
the stool tool, huh?
Yes. I was
So is
quite
it
surprised. And
Dehydration
Yes.
caused
Yeah.
the
Water.
issue.
Water.
yes, indeed.
Okay.
So it's
And it does. And so all of you out there, please listen to me. I can be a little bossy, but it's with a good intention.
Yes.
Drink your water. Yes, please.
So now
Fluids.
it has me thinking,
Bob?
Fluids.
what you did for the first 65 years of your life.
Maybe it all led up to this. I mean,
I don't know.
who knows?
Do you
That-
drink water, Whit?
Yeah.
Just a glass of water.
In the morning, during the day, I don't pound it like Bob had to. Like, I don't, what was it, 64 ounces a day?
No, it's they
More
said
than that.
80 ounces a day.
I don't
was
even know
the-
how you do it. I probably drink 24 ounces a day.
Yeah.
yeah.
But they said 80 ounces a day of non-caffeinated.
Non-caffeine.
Yeah.
And he got accustomed to his caffeine-free Diet Pepsi, and that's fine. I don't turn my nose up to that at all. I love pop. That's fine. And I'm fine with him to drink Gatorade, but I do want to see that water once in a while. It really worries me when he's not, because he's still fighting cancer.
it wasn't the treatment that built up and caused that issue.
Well, yes, it did. I mean, that is a side
This
effect.
was all part of the what they called cooking off the grill. When all of the treatments ended, they said there would be residual stuff going
Yes.
on for up
weeks.
to 30 days.
Yeah.
And we've passed that 30
Okay.
days.
It was one of his worst side effects, though,
Yeah.
and it was a side effect of one of the drugs he was on, and that's just natural. But the way to counteract that is to drink water to try to not get
I
that
see.
side effect. And so the side effect came because I'm going to blame Bob for this because he wasn't drinking enough water.
It's a combo effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Residual, and then you tapered back, no pun intended, on your
Thank you.
water. And so it was.
And the chemo was still in him or
Right.
whatever. And so, yeah.
There ought to be a medicine for that, like Haley's chemo or something like that. I mean,
Something.
I mean,
Oh,
some
there
kind
is a
of-
medicine.
well.
It's called Miralax, which is what
Miralax.
he took.
I've heard that name.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Thankfully, you don't have to have it in your closet.
Many people
so.
take that with Gatorade, large amounts of it for their colonoscopies and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It'll soften
Yes.
everything up. You
Yeah.
know, boy, I bet everybody's happy they tuned into this mess.
This is wonderful, isn't it? So let's talk about the other
Right.
things that happened in this 30 days.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I had,
to segue, are you feeling?
Oh, I feel
Well,
wonderful.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
He feels normal.
I do. Normal,
Good.
whichever normal
Whatever that
is
is.
on your chart. But in the 30 days, I still had some pre-surgery tests
Okay.
that we had to take.
And just for people that don't know, I do, sadly, from experience, what is a PET scan?
A PET scan is when they inject you with a dye. It takes 45 minutes for this dye to go through your body. Mm-hmm. And then they run me through one of those open-ended MRI machines. And they scan what they called from eyes to thighs,
Wow.
all of the
Brain.
things going on.
I didn't
Scared
know
me.
that.
Yeah.
We're not. I think we're going to talk about it at the end. Right?
Oh,
sorry. Okay.
Because
Okay.
I don't want to talk about.
But that
that
is-
was
Yeah.
so. It was so oppressive leading up to that. If you know what I mean. Just that, not fear really. Just it was a weight.
What's the unknown?
Yeah, the
it
unknown
is.
of it.
It
But
is
we'll
the
talk
unknown.
about
Okay,
that.
but
at
you
the
feel
end
good.
of
But
this,
that's what a
he
PET
is
scan
feeling
is. They
good.
load you up with dye,
Okay.
and then they scan you for. It took about I think 45 minutes for the dye to work its way through the body, and then
Okay.
another half an hour
Yeah.
in the MRI machine.
Okay.
And then I had a pulmonary test, a venous duplex test,
Yeah.
which
It's
is
an ultrasound of your leggings.
yeah. They come up there. I mean, we went to the heart hospital for this. We went up to the waiting room.
Oh gosh.
And while we're in the waiting room,
I'm going to
sitting
have
there,
to wait with Bob. So I'm going to have to wait for him, I should say. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
had my earbuds.
Right. So I'm sitting there looking around, checking out the other people in the
Sure.
waiting room. And all of a sudden, Becky gets up.
I dropped my earbud.
She gets on her knees in front of me.
Was it your birthday, Bob?
It wasn't. Okay. And I look around the room and I go, not here. I was like, oh
You
my
know,
God.
This is what I have to put up with.
So,
But he did make me laugh out loud.
Yes,
And
it
I
was.
had to dig down in there and find my earbud. So but I found it.
so we went in.
So-
We went in for this duplex test.
Well, wait. The tech, the ultrasound tech,
Yes.
came out to get us. And we both stood up, as we always do, and he's going to walk away with her, and he gives me a kiss goodbye, and then she says, "Oh, you can come back with him."
This is the first time out of everything that Becky's been able to go
I've
in
never
Okay.
gotten to go
to
back.
a test procedure of some
Which
sort.
I found interesting. But then we're walking toward the little or whatever treatment room, and she says, "Are you two newlyweds?" I'm like, "What?"
Well, no, we're not actually. And
But we'd had a smooch, and we were holding hands walking down the hall, and evidently that's unusual.
I guess not for
I
us.
always
but-
held Dad's hand when we
Yeah,
go back. I mean, I know.
Right? Were you newlyweds?
Wow.
I know. So,
No.
but anyhow, we go in the room.
She let us back there. I had to take
Strip.
off my pants, leaving my underwear on,
Dropping his
and
drawers.
I had to get on a table. They put a paper blanket over me.
Every other treatment, he had these nice warm blankets. They'd be
paper?
like,
A
"Would you
paper?
like a warm blanket?"
A paper blanket.
Like a bum?
Like
Like on
this.
a
It
park
sounded
bench?
like this.
What was that going to do?
I don't know, but I guess just covered me
Just privacy.
until
I
she
guess.
Oh.
until
He's
she
so
came in. But
modest,
it was
you know.
it was an odd. It was just odd. So she came in and she starts doing the ultrasound right up in the area here.
I mean,
I
way,
mean, way up there
in the
Like,
groinish.
hey, this is not bad.
So I jumped up with my camera because I thought I got to take this picture for Whit. So I'm down at the foot of the bed.
She's going to send you a picture of a
This
woman.
woman had her hand up in
my
Bob's
pants. Yeah.
So I jump up, go to the end of the bed with my camera or phone, and I'm holding it up. And I said, "Oh, I've got to get a picture of this for Whit." And that tech turned around and said, "No,
No,
stop.
no.
Absolutely not. No photos." And I said, "Oh, it's from the back. We won't see you." No, this is HIPAA. I could lose my job. I'm telling you, that HIPAA
Wow.
rears its ugly head.
I
and
guess
I
it
guess
does.
it's to
I never
protect.
would have thought of that.
No, it was private for us to show you. It's
Right.
not like I'm going to go look what they do at the hospital or
Right.
something. But I stopped and sat back down. I was a little disappointed because it was very funny.
It was a funny photo.
Yeah.
It really was.
It would have been hilarious, Whit.
Yeah.
Oh well.
And sorry you didn't
We
get
tried.
that photo.
This is why you sign up for Medicare Part Z.
Well, then about halfway through, she's doing this ultrasound all up and down his legs, looking at the deep veins or something. I don't know. It's pre-surgery test. And then she just starts laughing. She's like, and she's laughing. And she said, I've never experienced someone wanting to take our picture when I'm running this test. I'm like, well, you've never had Bob before.
No. So that's just to see if you're circulate. I mean,
I guess
Yes.
if the veins are moving, if I'm, circulation's
It's
good.
such a big surgery. It's not like when I had my gallbladder out. They didn't have to do a bunch of pre-tests or anything. This is such a major open body surgery that they're checking his heart, his lungs, and his veins and everything.
Everything.
So they just have to do that. But I just thought it was funny that she laughed, and we made her laugh.
I'm stunned that I guess she could lose her job, I suppose.
I guess.
I would think.
I don't know under what
I don't
grounds.
know what the actual HIPAA rules are. But
I don't either.
They're obviously very strict.
But when we went back to the radiation area, and our friend, what was her name, Bob?
Paula and Michelle.
And Michelle are
Yeah.
in there. And Bob was a little bit nervous when we went in for that. That was for the PET scan, that Paula might not be there.
I was sitting there going, I wonder if this HIPAA thing is a little bigger and broader than we think, and that Paula would lose her job because she actually attended our podcast.
Remember when we
No, I
talked
Not
about
the
it
case.
on the...
Not the case,
Right.
because
She was
we
there,
invited her.
and that's
Good.
what she said. You can talk about it all you want. She said, I cannot talk about it to anyone that I know Bob or that I'm aware that he's having cancer treatment. And she doesn't talk about it, and she honors that. We are the ones who invited her to be present. And it worked out, but Bob was just a little bit trepidatious about it.
Yeah.
So,
And in this 30 days, we found out a good friend of ours, comedian Tim Kavanaugh, had a major pancreatic surgery that I was not aware of.
I saw that.
had you
And
seen it?
it was something he had. And after I read about it, it kind of bugged me because he had such horrible complications that it kind of frightened me about my upcoming surgery.
Understandable.
And
He
it-
had the Whipple procedure.
Yes, he had pancreatic cancer, and he had a bunch of stuff that they had to do. That it required him to stay in the hospital for almost a month,
And rehab and all
then
kinds
he had
of
rehab
things.
after that.
And his
it's-
wonderful wife, Chris, was his total support. They've had a great result. He's back working,
Yeah,
doing
I saw he
stand-up.
did well.
Yes, he
did.
overcame all of the cancer, and he is back functioning as a normal human being, and he's actually performing on
So
stage.
look up Tim Kavanaugh and read about his journey. And I think there's a couple of great videos out there that he has shared and worth investigating
I agree.
for encouragement. But at the time Bob first heard about it, we were early into this, just finished treatment, and it scared Bob
Well,
It did.
a lot
I understand.
because of his long, all the
Because
complications.
you don't know. I mean, I have no idea what will happen.
Right.
And it just kind of scared me a little bit. Going, okay, I hope this is one case scenario thing that I don't have to worry
And
about.
didn't you say Saturday you'd never had a surgery? You've not
I've
been.
never.
Right.
No, I've
Yeah,
never.
so
Never
you
been
don't have
cut.
any
Except
way
for
to.
the vasectomy.
Right.
Yeah, but
well,
they didn't
yeah,
open
that
them
was-
up,
that
did they?
was-
Really?
Well,
no,
they opened it a little. They
Yeah.
got in there and they pulled that macaroni out
I felt it.
and snipped it.
Yeah.
So but that's the only surgery.
It
I've ever
really, I would say, for about 3 or 4 days, it brought Bob down to kind of a. I wouldn't say he was depressed, but he was afraid and a little bit down for a few days, and then I was down. We just had a few days of kind of a little bit of doom around the house, and I talked to Bob's brother Peter, who's always encouraging, and he's having his own many years
Yes.
cancer battle. And he said, just remember, when you have a bad day, there's always going to be a better day tomorrow. Just ride this day and know that tomorrow will be better. And it helped us a lot. He's always encouraging.
Yep.
And Pete's been going through his cancer treatments alone.
All by himself.
All by
Which
himself.
is so,
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
No.
Alone and kind of isolated.
Yes, he has to.
Geographically.
Driving himself. He lives out in the middle of the boonies in the Poconos.
Poconos.
He drives himself to his treatments.
Bless his heart.
He comes home and hits the sack for, I don't know how long, several days, while it knocks him out. And then he kind of rebounds for a couple of weeks and goes back in for the next chemo. But he does it all by himself. Occasionally he arranges rides for himself, but most of the time he's doing it alone. And we realize many of you out there who are listening are, I don't know how many.
May have to do it alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can do it.
But I say still, gather friends if you can, gather loved ones, somebody who can cheer you on and stand behind you and be your team, because it made an enormous difference for us to have people like Whit still cheering us on every step of the way. And now all of those listeners that we know are out there cheering you on.
I can't thank you all. It's just overwhelming.
Yes,
it really is.
But it's just encourage one another. If you know someone who's going through this, especially if they're going through it alone, step up. Give them a call and say, can I drive you? I had driven a really dear friend of ours to her cancer treatments because she was going through it alone. And I drove her, but you know what? I didn't know what I was doing. I dropped her off at the door. That's what she said. Just drop me off at the door and come back in 45 minutes. But I didn't realize then, because I wasn't aware of what it really involves. I should have gone in and sat with her in the waiting room and been waiting for her in the waiting room when she came back out. But I didn't. I drove her. We chatted in the car, dropped her off, picked her up, chatted in the car, took her home. I feel like I'm so much more aware now.
Well, and another thing, you said this a while back, that they told you stay off the internet.
Oh, absolutely.
And we have.
Because that's going to be the worst case scenario. And,
Always.
And a corollary to that is when you're sitting in the waiting room, don't assume if someone is in worse shape than you that that's going to be you.
Right.
Boy, we did early on.
No, it's human nature.
Yep, we
Yeah,
did.
it is.
We
And
saw
so-
skinny guys with no hair, and we're like, oh.
So you go back pain,
Yep. Oh, for sure.
It's human nature.
Yep.
I wish we could just automatically assume the best.
It's-
but we don't.
That's not in
No.
human, not in my nature. I mean,
Nope.
I tend to be a bit of a Pollyanna, but when we're in the middle of this with Bob, I'm really not.
You know, we've had fun with this, but cancer is not a lighthearted word.
No, it isn't, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this. It's not all gloom and doom. It's something that you can survive.
Yes.
It's something that you can do with laughter.
Yes.
You don't have to be depressed the whole time.
But
You're
we
gonna
also
have
don't
your-
want to minimize it.
No, but you're going to have your up days and your down days.
Mm-hmm.
That is for sure. There's no way you're always going to be feeling great.
Nope.
Yep.
And there's also days, there's no reason to feel depressed the whole time either. I mean, you can live your life as they told us when we were going through these treatments.
The first day, he
Live
said.
your life.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what we did.
Yeah,
So surgery is the next step.
it is the next step.
It is
Or
the next
is
step.
there anything
I
else
had
in-
my final pre-surgery test today,
Okay. Oh, okay.
which was they did I forgot the word. They checked my heart with what do they do with the babies? Ultrasound.
Right.
Man, I'm losing my brain.
What do they do with the babies? Well, again, that's another thing that you've probably heard those words, chemo brain. We hear people say it all the time. Oh, I have chemo brain. People
Mine is age. Sorry.
But no, you can become. It's not just the medicine that's in you, but it's also just the process that we're going through.
There's a lot of
It's so
stuff you're learning.
distracting
Yep.
and so much going on that it is easy to forget things. And I keep telling Bob this one phrase: put it on my tab, because I'll drop things, break things, forget things, missing Lynn, whatever. Things just add up, and I just say, put it on my tab.
Yep.
I'll deal with it later. Put it on my tab, because we're just distracted, I guess, would be.
Oh, very distracted, but we're going day to day with everything. I'm feeling better.
Good.
But of course, I'm not being attacked by
Right.
poisons right now.
We think you're not cooking off the grill now. I think
no,
you're
I think
finished.
that's all done.
You think it's probably processed through?
Believe so. Yeah.
And his
Okay.
hair, because they told us too the last time we saw him, they're like, well, don't get, some people would say, nope, it's not going to fall out now. And then someone else said, well, you do cook off the grill, so
It
be
can
aware
still
it could still
residually hit
happen.
you?
But it did not.
It
Good.
never
It
did.
not fall
Never
out.
did. He got so lucky that
I had
way.
the heart ultrasound today, which is the last pre-surgery test.
Okay.
And I guess everything looked all right. It takes a day or two to find that out. But they will, after this test, they will now give us a permanent date. They'll
Okay,
set
that's
up
what I was going to
waiting.
ask.
our
If
Our
you're
surgery
doing-
date.
Okay.
Yeah.
The doctor, we met with all of the doctors after our PET scan, and they said that we will probably do it middle of July.
Okay.
That's what we're hoping.
So we're not sure what day, but it'll be mid-July.
And it's funny because a lot of our friends are inviting us to do things or putting things on the schedule. Whit.
Yeah, I know.
And keep saying, you know what? Our life is on hold. We don't even have a surgery date. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know how long that recovery is. And so we're looking at probably late fall before we can start kind of getting back to a real life. We just don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I asked the doctor, the surgeon, that how long after the surgery can I play golf?
Okay.
And he said maybe mid to late September.
So 2 months.
Which felt encouraging.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
and that's strenuous. That's twisting and hitting and
yeah,
turning.
'cause
That's,
his belly's going to be cut open in two different places.
that's probably physical
So-
more than just.
Yeah, but I think it's mostly the muscles underneath
Yep.
that need to heal more than the actual surgery scars.
Yeah.
But
We do feel a little more educated now. Before it was like, we don't even know. We just don't know what's going to happen.
Did they
And
tell you
so
how long the surgery is? Do you have any idea?
Yes, it's about
6
6
hours.
hours.
So it's
It's a big one.
It's a
Yep.
long,
Yeah.
a long
It's-
surgery.
And they keep using the word, this is a big surgery. Now, I don't know, when you hear that from a surgeon, that seems kind of important. This is a big surgery.
and they're not taking your tonsils out.
Right.
And then next,
No,
Or
they're not.
even my gallbladder,
Right.
which when I had mine out 30 years ago was to me, a big
know,
surgery.
as
But
lay people, we think of the game operation.
Of course.
he's going to look like that guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what my eyes are going to look like as I go into that room. I guarantee it.
but again,
Yeah.
they probably have to find everything. It probably takes them a
Right.
while to
Well,
get
they've
you
done all the
prepped,
photos. Apparently all of my organs are where they're supposed to be,
But they
which
gotta
is very good.
cut
Yeah.
you open,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
dig around, as
Yeah.
I say.
Yeah, poke
Yeah.
around. That's,
Oh, they-
that feels like an esophagus. Yeah.
Students over here, which one do you think it is?
Which?
Well,
All right.
I did ask the doctor. I didn't challenge the doctor like I did the radiologist, but I did ask him if this could be done as a laparoscopy,
Which
with
is
tiny
just
little holes
and he said
and
no.
cameras. He
No.
said no,
Okay.
because they're going to remove a lot of his stomach and esophagus, even for a very small. This is a very small tumor.
They want the margins. They don't want
to
yes.
get everything.
Right.
So
Well,
they're going
yes.
to take about half of his stomach and half of his esophagus.
That's about the call they made. Yes.
Okay,
That's
and then
a lot. And then move the stomach up to mid-chest area, I guess. It's going to be
More
horrible.
towards the back, they said.
okay.
Yeah.
But I said, now, will my insides feel different to me? He goes, no, you won't notice a thing.
And I wanted to
Oh,
know
that's
if,
good to
if
know.
they were going to
Yeah.
crack any ribs to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said no
No.
bones. Because, that's
Okay.
scary.
That's a big deal.
Because they're going in up under his arm, kind of on the side.
Is this a
So-
balcony seating opportunity?
I
I
hope
know.
so. Uh-huh.
Yes.
I would like to
I
be
hope
in
so.
the gallery. Do they have a glass, med students?
I don't believe they have what they call the surgery theater.
Yes, that's what
No.
we want.
No, we don't.
Actually, I wouldn't be able to handle
No,
it.
I
You
would
would.
be-
You'd pass out.
I'd pass out.
I would pass out so fast. Yes, good point. Yeah, we don't want that.
No,
and
not
again,
at all.
I'm just thinking now, probably due to HIPAA, that's gone. Remember we used to
it's very
see-
possible.
Used to see those shows where
But it was Hollywood.
I think that's med school though.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're
yeah,
in
it
med
is.
school, those are students watching in the theater. Those humans down there gave permission.
so the
to
med
be-
school, the junior med school couldn't put that on StubHub.
I don't think so.
Okay, I just
I
wondered.
don't think so.
Okay, all right, I don't know.
So,
Okay,
so we did the PET scan, and it took a little while to get the results, but the results came back Very, very well.
Phenomenal.
Yes,
that's
very good.
fantastic.
So walking in, we sat down. We had to go back through and see Paula and Michelle and go into the room waiting for our doctors. There's a team of doctors, including our radiologist, our quarterback, as they call him, who you know,
Yes.
and the surgeon, the nurse practitioner, who's our navigator, and all these people came in, and no one gave us any indication of what we were about to see. So I was likening it to if you were on trial and the jury comes in. The jury never looks at the defendant. They don't give any indication of whether it's guilty or not guilty. And I'm just imagining, of course, the worst,
Guilty.
thinking his back is going to light up because he had all that back pain and fatigue, and nothing lit up. And the
Nope.
doctor showed us side-by-side images of how it was before and how it is now, and it was a beautiful thing.
Isn't
It
that
was
amazing?
It truly is. So
That
all
just
of it
gave me a chill.
Oh,
I
it
haven't-
was
I
stripped
haven't-
so
away,
beautiful.
and
Yeah, I haven't heard you
now
say
they'll
it
be
that
able
way.
to go in and just take that area out and rebuild me inside, and life goes on.
Well, I wanted to just reiterate how joyful that moment was,
can't
because it
imagine.
was a weight that we both walked in carrying. And when they said this is an amazing result, everything is looking just peachy, and it was like a whoosh. And I couldn't think of another moment in my life where I had that, because I've never been on trial. But another moment where I was just waiting and waiting, and then the grand relief of, oh gosh, okay, this is good.
That's a
This
great
is-
analogy, because they
That's
walked
just-
in with poker faces.
Right.
Poker. I've been on many juries, and you do not look at the defendant.
You don't give him a thumbs up. Like,
No, you don't have the one guy
We got
winking
you.
at you. Yeah.
Nope.
We got you.
So,
Yep.
no, but it was a tremendous feeling.
well,
And then-
congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
it was,
exciting.
It
it was,
was.
quite a relief to know that they had
Yeah.
got it all.
And I actually said that to our radiologist. Well, it appears you did hit the right spot.
And he did.
So-
He got it all, and now we move forward and take out.
And then all the questions come about
Sure.
the actual surgery, the hospital stay, the logistics of the hospital stay that we have yet to find out, really. I mean, we still have questions, and a long stay.
Yeah, Becky was worried about not being able to stay in the room with
Oh,
me.
what'd they say about that? Have they?
Well,
do they-
I asked, and they were kind of hemming and hawing, like, "Well, I think you ought to be able. There'll be a little chair in there." But it's not about whether there's a spot for me. It's about whether I'm allowed to stay. Is he in the ICU? We don't know all those
Oh,
things
okay.
yet.
So you don't know yet.
And in the ICU, I don't know that they let just a regular person like me stay. I don't know. I've never been in the ICU with someone. I stayed with Lynn in her room, but that's like a hospital room.
Right.
So I just don't know. We're going to
No.
find out. But Bob said, when I said, I don't know, will there be a place for me to sleep?
And I said, I know where I'm sleeping.
Right.
I mean, I got a bed.
He's
I
got
don't
no
know about
worries.
you. I don't know where you're going to be, but
Right.
He
I'm
has
sure
no-
they're not going to say anything if you want to stay the night
Yeah.
and stay as long as you want to. I mean,
He's figuring he's going to be well drugged up, which I'm hoping for, too.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have those logistical worries at all. Those are all coming down to me. And those are things like prior, we arranged, actually this is before the PET scan, we arranged to have eye appointments and dentist appointments to get things all
Oh, yeah, okay.
covered. And in fact, Bob has an issue with one of his teeth, and we want to get that done before surgery, right?
Right.
So that there's no chance of any kind of infections or problems. I want to get our bills
See,
paid and our,
Why would we pay bills? We don't do that now.
See,
you know what I mean? Like just practical things around the house. I want to get all done, because when he does come home from the hospital, we're going to be focusing on him getting better.
Getting better.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm
there's
sure
just-
I won't be able to walk around the house as freely as I want to, but
Yeah.
it's going to
And
be a slow
he's not going to be able to
recovery.
help me. Not that he does anyway. Oh, what?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wow,
you
that
know
was a
I'm
shot.
teasing. That was a
Woo!
joke. That was a joke.
When I walked in, you were on the couch, Becky, resting, and he was running the sweeper. I heard it.
I know, scrubbing the pan.
Yes.
Yeah, mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
But we're just trying to get a few things accomplished ahead of time, seeing the grandkids as much as possible,
Right.
because
You probably
afterward,
won't be able to lift.
no, I
and
bet
do
not.
any kind
No,
of.
they already told me that I won't be able to lift anything over, I think, 10 pounds.
Okay.
And for an extended period of time.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So
I don't
we're
know.
just
So I don't
doing-
know how I'm going to
But I would
urinate.
surmise you're not going to come home in a wheelchair.
Nope, he
You
won't.
You will be ambulatory, so you can walk.
Yeah, his legs aren't getting operated
No,
on.
I mean, but I would think you'd be
it's going to hurt
sort of
to
okay,
laugh.
right?
It hurts to laugh when you have your belly.
Well, then I'll come
operated.
over.
Oh no, you're banned from the house.
No, I was
Yeah,
going to say.
exactly.
Yeah, so that'll be the tough thing is
Okay.
not be able to really.
And then the food
Laugh, cough,
deal,
whatever.
because as we said, they're taking out esophagus and stomach, and
And I
he
will
has
be
to,
on a feeding tube for about 7 days.
To get you, yeah, because
to
you
heal
probably.
that joint. That they're putting in a new joint for the esophagus and stomach.
I wondered this after we saw each other Saturday. I wondered if your taste will change.
I know. I don't know.
Because,
It has already.
Mine's been poor all my life, so why?
No, I
Poor
mean
taste.
food, tasting food.
You have good taste in ladies.
I do have
Ladies,
good taste in
the
ladies.
ladies.
Yes.
But no,
But yeah,
I mean,
I don't
because he
know.
went from not drinking water because he didn't like the taste to all of a
And-
sudden it didn't bother you.
Right.
A few other things. His taste did change after chemo and radiation. I can't
But a
think
few-
of them
just
off
a
the
few
top of my
things.
head.
Not much.
But a couple things. And who knows what it'll be like after surgery.
I just was curious.
yeah.
And I asked the surgeon if it would change my voice
Mm-hmm.
with the esophagus shortening. And he said it shouldn't affect the
Oh,
voice
okay.
at all.
Unless he hits this one particular nerve, which I'm like, shut
which is
up.
going to be nowhere near.
He's going to be nowhere near it, but it is a side effect they have to mention. You know, they have to tell you all the terrible things that could happen, which then I'll just ruminate on. But only if he hits this one particular nerve that is not even in that tube. It's a remote possibility. But he said like 3% of people.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. Because if it changed his voice, that would bum him out because he sings and writes and talks. And
We have
you
to
know,
start the
but-
next podcast with you being a soprano.
Oh,
I mean, just
hi.
to, just to, just to,
Okay.
well, it happened.
That's a really good one. We have to.
And our next podcast will be after the surgery.
Good.
So we'll, I guess, update you. If you don't hear the next episode, you'll know things didn't go well.
Oh, stop it, Bob. Oh, gosh. See, now those
I don't
are-
see now.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
do
all
that. Don't
right.
do that.
Let me tell
I'm
something
joking.
fun.
Go
Let me
ahead.
tell something fun.
Something fun.
So while we were kind of feeling down, which I mentioned, and it came and went in little waves.
Mm-hmm.
We'd feel great, then we'd feel not so great, then we'd feel great again. And we were feeling not so great. And I said, hey, honey, I have an idea. What do you think of pretending
Pretending what?
pretending we're on vacation because we can't go on any of our Junebug journeys. We can't take the camper out. We can't go do stuff.
So we did a one-day trip.
We did a one day pretend we're going on vacation. So we got in the truck.
I didn't know this. Where'd you go?
We drove to the beautiful little village or burg of Nashville, Indiana.
Beautiful.
Okay, yep.
Beautiful.
Just there last night.
We got in the truck and I said, well, I don't care where we go. And Bob said, well, he got online and kind of looked at the right distance. And he said, what if we go have lunch in Nashville? Like, yes.
Hour and a half.
So we
perfect drive.
drove there to have lunch, and I had no idea that everything's closed on the.
It was a Monday or a Tuesday,
Everything
whatever.
closes on Monday in
They're all
Nashville.
closed. All the restaurants.
I had no idea.
No,
Although we did
there was
find
there
one
were a
open.
handful open, but the majority of them
The shops were closed.
shops, a lot were shop.
Nashville, Indiana, for those that don't know, is like a very mini Gatlinburg.
It's
an
great.
artist
There
colony.
There
Yeah.
aren't rides, but artists,
And it's full of log cabins.
full of log cabins, and
Legit log cabins.
full of fudge shops.
Yes.
Closed.
Which I wonder if there's a fudge tool.
No,
Oh, there
probably
you go.
not.
Put
Where
that
you
on
know
your
what
stool
size do
tool.
you want?
Fudge
And-
facts is what you want.
Fudge facts. That's right. There's the alliteration. I was looking for fudge facts.
But honestly, it really was a very uplifting day because we listened to our book on tape, which we do on our journeys anyhow. We had a Reacher book. Ooh, very, very
Jack
big
Reacher,
fun.
yeah.
Jack
Love the
Reacher.
Jack Reacher.
So we listened to our book on the way down. We listened to the book on the way back. And it just felt like we were driving back to a
Did you
campground.
feel like you could get rid of the?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Concern.
just
That's
great. We
great to
just
hear.
Didn't think about it
pretended.
at all
It
during
was
the day.
like that first week leading up to treatment before we ever started treatment. Bob said, this week is my free week. I want to be the guy who doesn't have cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And he golfed and he golfed and he
Yep.
golfed. And that's how it felt. Like, oh, we had a free day to literally do whatever we wanted. And we didn't have responsibilities or tests or treatment. It was great.
It was great.
So I'll encourage anybody out there who's going through this, when you do have a free day, make it something special. Even if you're just at home, say, okay, today we're going to watch movies all day or something that's just different out of your routine.
It gets yourself gets you out of your own head.
Yeah.
It does. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yep.
And even though some of the stuff was closed, we really enjoyed ourselves. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
I really
Hey,
am.
we were going to mention your specific drugs because we had a couple of listeners ask about that.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
So,
It was Taxol.
Yes.
These are the drugs, the chemo drugs.
Yeah.
Taxol, and you have the other one.
Carboplatin.
Carboplatin.
Yeah.
Were the
Those
two
were the two chemo drugs.
that I took, and then
Okay.
radiation is radiation. But
Yeah, that's
those were the
zapping and all
those
that.
were the big drugs that I.
And then people have asked, and I don't know, I guess everybody has different drugs and different timing.
I'm sure they're in different doses. And
I'm hearing a lot about people who have their chemo once every 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. They have it on a day, and then it knocks them out for several days, and then they kind of build back up, and then they go back in after 3 weeks. Bob's was every week. So each person
It's all
is
different.
different.
It is.
I didn't know that. I'm sure that's all related
Yeah, I think
to
a lot of people think everyone does it the exact same way, and they
Right.
don't. No, it's
Right.
different doses, different amount of times. Where some people have been on chemo for 6 months,
Right.
and it was not the case for us.
We do have some really close friends. He's going through some chemo treatment, and he said he and his wife have been listening to the podcast. He thought he was going to have to stop listening because we were making it sound a little too easy because he wasn't having as easy of a time.
Yep.
And he said, "You're setting the bar awful high,"
Yep.
because his wife was laughing about the fact that I'm basically babysitting Bob every second of the day, and she's like,
Ain't gonna happen on
it
this
ain't going to
end.
happen at this house.
Sorry,
you
pal.
know.
Yeah.
Well-
So everybody is different, and we got very fortunate.
And I'm assuming by your comments earlier that between now and the surgery, you still like to hear from people.
Oh, sure.
Please do
Encouragement.
write,
and,
write
that
these
it's
notes.
not. Yeah, it's not
Thanks for
reminder.
that.
Yeah, it
No.
doesn't. It's. Yes.
Thanks for mentioning that,
Yes.
Whit, because Bob is loving seeing
Yep.
those.
I do. It's really nice to read the great words from
And
from
he
people.
really does. He sees every single one.
It's
One
one-
guy
it-
wrote, and he said, this actually moved me quite a bit when he said, longtime listener, very concerned about you. You'll probably never see these words, but, and he went on.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, heartbreak. I want him to know that we read this.
That we do. We've read every email and every message that's
Because
come
they
our
go
way.
to quite a bit of effort to write this note. We even had one listener write us poems. He sent them in the
Oh, wow.
mail.
Yeah.
Just beautiful poems. People are being so thoughtful, and it's just amazing. It's amazing how they've responded. Not anything we expected. In
No, nothing like that. I didn't expect.
We thought 20 people, 100.
I thought maybe 1,000 folks might do it, and
Just
it's
been
been
incredible.
over.
Did you have any expectation of
No,
that?
I because no,
I mean,
I had none. I've never
That's the
done
thing about
anything
when you
like
do something
this.
like
where-
this, you have no idea who's
Nope.
going to
Oh, and it hit
listen.
we didn't mention it hit all of the local news. Every
Mm-hmm.
single news site and news channels actually featured Bob's podcast launch because they
And
did it
we
on
have
the
to,
air.
And we have to thank Tom.
Tom.
At
He's
the
been
Bob and
brilliant.
Tom show, he was very gracious to let me come on the air and talk about it. And
Tom has been
he's a
brilliant.
He's a
Yep.
great man.
For
Yep.
those of you who think Tom is the reputation that they built over the 30 years on the air.
Ass bag, I believe, is what you're looking for.
And
Yeah.
you know what? He has been loving and kind and absolutely.
He always has been.
I know
Yes.
that, but it's so manifested now in the middle of what Bob's going through that he's been brilliant, beautiful.
I thought the morning you were on the show, he was as good as I've ever heard him.
Oh yeah. Well, it's good to
He
be.
was
It was
just-
actually
Yeah.
fun to visit the program again.
I
Yes.
wonder if it's something listeners can go back to and hear that.
I think, but I don't know.
I don't
know
know
how they do that.
That's high tech
Right.
to me.
Yeah, it's too.
But it was a very excellent hour of
It was
radio.
a good day,
Yeah.
fun hour with the boys and,
Well,
this-
and Christy.
Journey is almost at its
Yes.
end.
Yeah,
It is.
and it's been an interesting journey.
Yep.
And we'll do another, I guess, post-op episode,
Yeah.
and let you know how everything went, and we'll close up this chapter of my life.
May I say one last thing? It just
Absolutely.
occurred to me, and I do respect HIPAA. So you couldn't get that photo, but Becky could do a reenactment
Absolutely.
because I have my
Yeah.
phone camera
Oh,
yeah.
great!
right out here.
Get some
Okay.
paper blankets,
Yes.
lay down.
Paper blankets.
And when you said today, let's pretend, I thought you were going to say, I'm your nurse. I mean, my mind did not. My mind did not go to Nashville, Indiana.
It really
She
surprises
is my
me.
nurse. Oh, yeah.
That really surprises me, Whit,
Yes,
that your mind went there. I'm
sorry.
shocked.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
thank you all for downloading.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
It has
Thank
been
you.
our pleasure to share our experience. I don't know if you've enjoyed it or not, but I have.
We
I
have.
have.
And
Yes.
I just want to say, I hate my partner. I'm going to kill him. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Bob and Cancer Show. Tune in to our next episode as we continue to follow Bob's journey. Bob Kevoian appears courtesy of Stool Tool. Stool Tool, if you're in doubt when it finally comes out. This is Whit Grayson speaking.